Running fans, jumping fans, throwing fans, all around athletics fans, welcome to Talking in Ovals. How is everybody doing out there on this Monday, November 17th, 2025, episode number 166? Hyatt, I felt like we were just here a few days ago. We were.
Listen, man, I feel like this past weekend was like everyone's looking forward to winter track, and cross country said, hold my beer for just a few more weeks. Like, man, I was at the Meet of Champs. We'll get into it later. Wow. It was absolutely electric.
Not even Meet of Champs. If you look around the country,
NCAA was amazing.
NCAA going on with their conference meets. We had some Nike regional meets going on with some.
We had some cross country regional meets too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Nike regional cross country meets, some of the NXR qualifiers. So we had a lot of like you said, cross country was just like, we're not done. We go until December. You're gonna respect us, damn it. So that's exactly what we saw. So
hell yeah.
First off, before we get into all the fun stuff, wherever you're watching from, we always appreciate it. Whether it is Facebook, X, YouTube, Kick, Twitch, wherever you are, make sure give us a like, share, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you're listening to this later via podcast form, it's probably incredibly late because I've been awful with getting these ups. I think I'm like 3 behind on the episodes for the audio side. I am incredibly sorry.
I think I looked yesterday. Diane's the last one.
And that's a good one to have at the ballot because Diane was amazing. But I appreciate everyone for bearing with me and everyone that's watching live. So this is encouraging, though. If you're listening to this, stop listening to this later. Go watch on our YouTube instead. That's already there. Go watch on our YouTube. Go to X. Go to one of those. Make sure you subscribe there so you know we're there and you know when a new video is up. See that? Look at that. Look at that promotion. Look at that. So, but you can find us on all the socials. Just go search at Talking in Ovals. That's where we'll be. So last week, or Thursday of last week, we had Jim Lambert on, and it's always a good time when Jim comes on. He was extra pumped up because his Finns had won and the Dodgers had won, and he was gearing up for Meet of Champs. And Dave was the only person that got all 4 predictions right with team champions and individual champions.
Well, I mean, team was kind of easy. Like there wasn't really I'm not sure.
You still got to go out and run the race.
I'm not sure if any of us actually picked a team. We're all just assuming that we would have picked UC and CBA. But I was the only one who got the correct female individual and the correct male individual. So. Yeah.
My male wasn't feeling well, so I get a pass.
Yes.
Okay,
Jack was, but to his credit, he towed the line and he got up.
You got to get out there.
And he ran anyway. So
we'll definitely talk about Meet of Champs and things like that with our guests, because let's bring them on right away. Because unfortunately, we also have no PRs this week. I know Coach Figueroa said that he may be sending them our way, but we'll be getting them for indoor and stuff like that. I know we will. So let's bring our guests in this week. We're excited to have them on because they said they were fans of ours. We're also fans of theirs. So let's bring them on here. We have 2 NewJersey.com high school cross country and track and field reporters. We have Corey Annan and Bakari Tice. Corey, Bakari, what's up, gentlemen?
How's it going, guys?
Super excited to be on.
Super excited.
It's our pleasure, to be quite honest. Like I said,
it's still odd hearing someone say that like they're excited to come onto our show. So thank you guys. I mean, listen, we're just so excited that we have some young talent who's out there covering this awesome sport. I mean, we've had some amazing reporters who are still going at it, who've been around for so long, and it's amazing. But seeing some new young blood out there is always great. So thank you guys for everything that you do.
Dave just basically said, Phil Grove and Jim Lambert, you're old.
No, they are wise. They are wise.
They've been doing it for a while, but
he's
still young. Jim's still out here running 2, 3, 4 miles out there on Instagram. So
you guys might be seeing Jim out there with the Talking in Ovals flag soon. He said he wants to get a flag and just run around with it at meets. So
I have to get
Jim doing semantics.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. I would love
absolutely. Hey, listen, if we ever do get any swag, we will definitely throw some your way. But we don't have to. If we get some, we'll, let you guys rock it out on meets.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So we're going to jump right in with the same question that we ask all of our guests. I'm going to start off with you over there, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
number one, did you compete in athletics at any point? Middle school, high school, college, anything like that?
Yeah. So I've been in track probably longer than really any sport, I'd say. I was a part of the Phillipsburg like youth track club in 7th grade, 8th grade. I was very keen on just doing sprints. Wasn't great at it.
All of us want to start off in the sprint. It's the least distance, so we're done quick.
My freshman year, we were going up against our rival Easton. Easton, PA is like across the river. If you know about the Phillipsburg Easton rivalry, it's a big deal in the athletics. But and I think it was my first second meet of the year, and I completely like tripped over the blocks on the 100 dash. Did not finish the race. So that was pretty embarrassing. So eventually, again, did it dispersed for a few years. Switched over to throwing by the end of my freshman year. Shot put was kind of my thing, and I was okay at it, moderately successful. All that stuff. We got the medal. I medaled at a few conference meets and everything like that. But and eventually, after 4 years at Phillipsburg, throwing the shot put and doing a little bit of discus too, I went on to Montclair State University for a year through there at Division III level, and it was great. I loved it. Honestly, and I wish I kept going with it. Just honestly, I just got so invested in journalism and sports journalism and wanting to kind of get involved with that that kind of took precedent. But I honestly still wish I stuck with it and did it all throughout 4 years because it was such a big part of my life. Got to travel, different places, different meets across, really across the East Coast. So it was really exciting.
I mean, college is fun, right? Like you said, right? Like you get to go to some fun places. Like, did you guys? I know Bucknell always puts on a great meet.
Yes,
Bucknell is so much fun. It's a beautiful meet. They run it like clockwork down there. Mm-hmm. But there's just like so many good meets, especially in Jersey too. Princeton, even though that home stretch is a wind tunnel and I hate it, it's still a great meet to go on. We see some fast times there all the time. So
they still have a few high school meets up there. So they do a great job. I wish there was more facilities in Jersey, honestly, but the ones that are here are good.
So real quick, Corey. So when did you get the spark to try and want to take it seriously, right? Because you did, you went through all your stuff, but when did you sit there and go, I kind of want to continue to do this? Because to consider going and doing it in college, you had to have like some drive to do it. So when did you obviously if you're a thrower, usually a lot of throwers they have some options. They could go play some ball. They could be basketball, wrestling. So when did you decide to go, nope, I'm going to go the track route and try and take this seriously?
Yeah. I think for me, it was indoor. I think I hit like a huge PR. I think it was like at the time for me, I thought it was pretty good. I think it was like 47 feet that I hit in the shot. And I was
not bad at all.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I actually do like, throwing a lot and all that stuff. Again, I loved kind of like the aspect of just being able to, go out there and just like, it's a stress release, after a long day of school, you go out there the track, throw the shot put, throw a discus, throw objects around in the most simplest terms possible. And
man, you throwers though, you guys are just having the greatest time. Like I just honestly, they should put
all I hear is
especially during practice, they should put hammocks out because you guys are just chilling, you're hanging out, you're talking. And I remember before the meets, Hyatt, you'll remember some of these guys, Andrew Grando and Mike Antile and stuff. They would sit there and go and just grab the fattest sandwiches they can find and just most sandwiches while all of us are like starving ourselves because we have to go sprint.
I was a skinny guy. I was a pretty skinny guy, and I started out doing sprints. So I honestly kind of just picked the shot because I really wanted to track. I just wasn't good at any other event except for throwing. So when I started, when I kind of started doing shot put, starting the end of my freshman year, I got better and better. I get a hit around 47 feet. By the time I got to my senior year indoor, like 2018, around that. And then I was like, I want to like actually do this in college. So, I got to, I reached out to a few Division III schools. A few D2 schools offered me, a spot on their team. But I wanted to stay home. So Montclair was always kind of like the choice.
Nice.
There.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Bakari, throwing it to you. If you were a runner, when and what was the spark to make you want to start running?
So for me, personally, it was always my dad. My dad has always been a big track guy. He actually ran when he was in college. He was a miler, even though it's funny because I was a sprinter, so I didn't take after him at all in that aspect. But I watched him do it, and I grew up a basketball player. Always played basketball since I was about, I would say, 6, 7 years old. So it started off being a thing is where like, okay, this is off season training. What better training than track? Speed helps all the
A lot
time.
of people do that.
A lot of people do. A lot of people do. And at first I was one of those people, but once and I realized, okay, like I'm pretty fast. Like I was started winning a couple of these meets. I used to run for Inglewood Track Club. So like,
Yeah.
we had a lot of good sprinters, a lot of football players, but we had a lot of guys who pushed me. And I was sitting there like, okay, I can compete with these guys and I can hang. And then it wasn't until about my sophomore year, I would say at Paramus Catholic, where I was like still a basketball player, and I was like, okay, well, let me still go out, train, do this. I loved training with the track team. There was nothing better, just running the wind sprints, running the 100s, the 200s. I loved it. And then I decided, let me actually take this to meets and see what I can do. And
Yeah.
I started off on relays. I'll never forget, like my first race was the 400 leg of a DMR.
Nice.
So and I bombed it. I absolutely bombed the 400. I was dying afterwards. But
would you go out in like 23 and come back in 30, something like that? Like
That's a lot of pressure, man. I mean,
that's exactly what I did.
Pressure,
and I couldn't even imagine. Like I was just sitting there gassed, but I was like the
and he's
thrill
at a
of
DMR. So they're like, come on.
Yeah, and I had
it's the easiest leg. Come on.
Exactly. So they're all looking at me like, you're dying. We're sitting here running the real distance. But yeah, that was kind of the turning point for me, because I realized like this is, I had to watching come around the track and watching the crowd cheer and just seeing all those people in the stands. It was amazing. And I never got that, from just playing basketball, even though it's the same thing, you still have the crowd and stuff, but track is just, it's a different energy, and I could truly feel it. And basically I realized, yeah, let me take this seriously. Let me really go in. I had a really good junior year. Almost made it to groups. Didn't make it because I had non-public A is always loaded. It's always
it
been
is.
loaded,
Jesus.
even back until I
It used
was
to be called
even back when I was in high school.
when I was in high school, it was called parochial A and parochial.
Yep.
Parochial.
Yeah.
Yep.
Always been
they
crazy.
changed the name of that. They changed it from parochial to, because the old people still like the old. I mean, not the old, but the old, like, I guess
The old
like the old heads, the boomers.
Yeah,
you could say it.
I
You could say it. We say we're boomers.
Well,
I think it's a connotation, right? I think it's a connotation of parochial necessarily was like religious, and we saw some other private schools that didn't have that religious affiliation, but they also weren't preps. So they were kind of trying to figure out where to put them. Like we've had on the Lawrenceville coach. He doesn't fit into that because they're
Coach Duncan?
Yeah, Coach Duncan. I didn't get the chance to talk to him. That was Dave Solo. I think I was sick or something. But yeah, he's fantastic. What he's doing there in Lawrenceville is amazing. He has a good tradition to keep going on there, but he's doing so good.
Yeah.
So I'm jumping complete off topic from the itinerary because this jumped into my mind that I have two New Jersey reporters sitting in front of me. So we have to ask about this. Ryder just had a gigantic thing go on that I saw announced that they're being hit with a bunch of financial like fraud things, and they have to fire a whole bunch of staff, and they could potentially go down as like an institution. Have you guys seen anything on this? And has there been any chatter from the track cross country side about what this does to the programs? Because I'm a MAC guy. Obviously, you see Marist behind me. Ryder is in my conference, and they've been a really great school in my conference for a long time, Jersey school. So what's the chatter in terms of what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, Ryder has, they signed a lot of, good Jersey guys.
Yeah, always. Christian Gonzalez was there when I was younger, and Christian was a monster and still a great guy too.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I heard about it through NJ.com. One of our reporters actually wrote a story about it, but they've had financial problems for a while.
Yeah.
I know enrollment there is just, it's been kind of been stagnating or just down in general for a
Which
while.
is a countrywide problem, right? Because the generations are shrinking, so obviously there's going to be less 18-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing that it's outside of just a track and field thing and everything like that.
But I know their program is historically, has been a pretty solid program within the MAC, though. They typically have a handful of guys that can, really are going to be competitive at the regional and NCAA level. So
they've won the MAC a few times in track and field. They hosted the MAC consistently before, some other schools came in. So it's always been like a staple there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hopeful. I haven't heard anything again specifically about that program going down, but I mean, I know the financial problems have I think they're, they are like laying off, I think like over like 70 other full-time staffers.
It's sad.
It really that will probably affect athletics.
I also read that kids won't be able to transfer because none of their credits will be able to go. It's
well, kids might just be screwed. They're not going to get their money back. They're not going to be able to graduate. Like, then here's the thing, and this is where I feel like this is when it's tough when it's not a state school, right? Like Rider is a private university. So it's very different in terms of what could be done. If it was a state school, then the state government could step in and be like,
there's not a lot of state funding for those.
No,
I wonder, it's tough too for us to ask, like, if the federal government steps in, because this isn't the first institution that's shuttered lately. Like, we've seen a good amount of institutions. So it's like, it's hard to kind of beg and ask, but I do feel terrible for those kids and for the coaches and people that work there. Like, I hope they could figure something out because that's rough. That's a Division I bona fide D1 programs being eliminated.
And it's honestly one of the better ones too.
It is.
They brought in a lot, especially from this past your senior class. They brought in a lot of guys. A few other guys were group champions. Ryan James from Gloucester being one. I know who's at Rider now. So it's there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent at that school. So hopefully, they, again, financially they can figure it out and they can at least maintain the program, even if it, maybe it's they have to limit the size of the roster, because I know a lot of NCAA and really cross country and track programs have to limit the size of their roster.
The roster limits now it's getting crazy. Like there's schools
the
now.
Standards are insane.
Yeah, I mean, but there's also schools now like Washington State that are going only distance. That's all they have is distance. They don't have sprinters or anything. They're only so there's colleges that are specifying into one area.
That's
crazy. That's kind of crazy to me because, you always looked and some schools have been better at certain things than others, but
they still had the other options.
Exactly, they had the other options, and for a kid, if you want to go to a school or a school that has been traditionally good at one thing and now they don't offer that because of a funding problem or whatever. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Everything is just becoming so specialized now. Like everything is like this school only does this and this school. It's like we're losing the sense of like a track and field team. It's just becoming whatever
100%.
Discipline that you want to be good at. So it's an
interesting
landscape at the college level for certain.
NIL is playing a big role in that.
Huge.
A huge role. And I think now the NCAA is prioritizing schools, sports that are, going to generate as much revenue as possible. And I think that's why you're seeing the SEC. I know the SEC has literally specifically placed a limit on the amount of cross country kids that can, a
lot of roster limits going all around.
Yeah, it's sad because
But you know what though, it makes sense though, because I think if you're looking at a track standpoint, what does make the money? Your 100-meter runners, your 200-meter runners, right? Your sprints. Your sprints make the money more. And I'm a distance guy. Dave's a distance guy. We love a good 10K, but it's unless you're a NASCAR, golf, or tennis fan, you're probably not interested in the 10K as much as we are, right? So it's it's on us to make that interesting.
I will say, if you just look at the Netflix show, Sprint, that's everybody always thinks of track, and you think of the Noah Lyles and the Keishane Thompsons. You don't think about
Usain Bolt pops into brain.
Exactly.
Usain Bolt pops in. You think of track at university, Usain Bolt's the first one.
You don't think of Cole Hocker and Jacob Ingebrigtsen and all these great super.
But we're getting there.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Thankfully, but I think
especially Cole Hocker winning the Olympics and then coming back and winning the 5K.
More trash talk. We need more trash talk. People know Jakob and Josh Kirk as a trash talk. That's me. Dave knows I've been promoting that. A trash talk is needed in this sport. We need
at least at the pro level. I like high school level.
Well, no high school and college. High school and college, you have to earn the right. Here's my thing. I've always believed that I hate the penalties for excessive celebrations
I do too.
in pros because they deserve to celebrate. They're pros. You shouldn't be doing it in college. You shouldn't be doing it in high school. You have to earn the right to do it to get to that pro level. Once you get there, talk all the trash you want. Like we should be having fisticuffs at the end of a line of a 100, man. Like that's all it should be. It should turn into a UFC fight at the end. Like that's what I want.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you end up losing, but you win the UFC fight, you get the gold medal. Like that's where
You know, White's there, like, signing people.
We turn it first and 8th place get to have a fight afterwards, and if 8th place wins, they take first. They switch spots.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
that would be dope to see.
That'd be fun.
Maybe we could do our own offshoot league, and we'll do that like MMA track, MMA sprints.
Yes. Speaking
But-
of,
rival Grand Slam. So
We have to bring in.
please, if they can find a way to save that. I mean, I don't know if
There's no saving
there's no
Grand Slam.
saving
Grand
that.
Slam ain't
no
saving.
saving. There's no saving.
We're
Yeah, I
looking
mean, as of now,
forward
it's
to.
not like
Well, listen. Diamond League though. USA TF has their own league coming this year now, so
Okay.
we'll see.
We'll see what
Yeah,
goes
be
on.
good.
All right, so
Yeah.
I want to jump into some
Let's go.
specifically New Jersey cross country, baby, because
man.
we maybe have had the best cross country meet of champions
It's not maybe.
in history right now, with
Stop
the
it.
competition between Leah Starkey and Paige Shepard on the women's side, and CBA destroying their
Mhm.
own record for team time by, what was it, 9 seconds, almost 6
No, I
seconds?
think they were at 15:42 last year. This year,
It was by 2
40.
seconds, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Still a lot in
we-
terms of
but-
average.
But the craziest part is
I
that
mean,
they
it's
averaged
about this.
15:40 for their 5-man average. Their 7-man average was 15:51 for all 7.
that's like
And let's remind everyone, and I know Coach McCafferty, and I know Carl, you watch this too. This is a quote unquote down year for CBA because there's no Joe Barrett or there's no like one going out there, and then we just see Knott and Schmidt go, okay, we don't care. Like we're gonna
Yeah.
run like a few seconds off of what he ran last year, and
We're gonna
go
go
1-2.
Yeah.
So it's insane to see. So first off, Bakari, I'm gonna let you start off.
Okay.
What was your favorite moment from this XC Mox?
Mine, honestly, it's funny because I feel like it'd be crazy not to say the Leo Starkey Paige Shepard battle, but being the boys reporter, I have to go CBA. I mean, like you guys were saying, this is a down year, and even me personally, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I thought this team wasn't necessarily as good as last year's team, and they told me that's not true. And I even
Clearly.
clearly. And I remember talking to them after non-public A, and I was like, are you guys like going for the record? Is that something you're thinking about? And they're like, it's not a question. Like that's what we're doing. Like Luke was like, I think, I don't even think, I think we're gonna we haven't even run our best at Homedale yet. You haven't even seen it. And clearly we didn't until a week later. So
I mean, to everyone's just to let everyone know, we saw amazing time. But I mean, that might have been the best weather for me chance I've ever been to.
Yeah.
It was like
Perfect
52. It was
running
no
Many
wind.
coaches were saying how last
it was
year there was
perfect.
So a lot of coaches were telling me that last year the course it was very dry and dusty, and a lot of runners were getting sick because of that during the race because they were choking up on the dust and dirt kind of going up the roller coaster and whatnot.
Yep.
So I think that's really what led to a lot of these fast times, especially
It was absolutely
100%.
Mhm.
All right, so Corey, we're jumping to you. What was your favorite moment of the meet?
man. The Leah Starkey Paige Shepard battle at the end. I mean, this is my second year covering cross country, and when I say again,
What
I
a
don't
great
have a lot of
sophomore
memory.
year to cover.
I would retire, dude. Like after next year, I'll just hang him up because you got one more year of the paper. But you know what though? There's going to be someone else who's doing the same thing. That's
Yeah.
the beauty of this
Yeah.
state is that it always replay. Jim says it every time he's on the show.
Mhm.
Every year, I think it's a down year, and then bam.
Well, you got to
Yeah.
hang out because
Yeah.
we're gonna have two
Even
girls.
some of the freshmen
wait-
that run that race, man. It's crazy. But yeah, no, when that race, for just how much hype they're surrounding it just lived up to the hype. Again, you have a lot of these races sometimes that again may not necessarily kind of live up to that crazy hype that it ends up being, but that was a down to the wire finish.
It was
They
unbelievable.
ran together pretty much the entire race. Again, Leah at the 2 mile marker, Leah has a lead. But then Paige kind of gets her down on the downwoods and all that stuff. And coming out of the woods, Paige, it looks like she has an edge by maybe a few steps. But then Leah just comes charging down, and just finds that energy to like outkick her with like less than like.
Who thought Leah Starkey was going to catch one of the greatest milers in all of high school?
Yeah, the one who was
like crazy.
When they came out of the woods, even everyone was like, great race, but Paige is gonna get it because like everyone thought Leah needed at least a decent gap because Paige is gonna come on, and I mean Paige did her, and I mean. Kudos to a Paige too. I mean, what an amazing interview afterwards. Just so gracious and appreciative. Like just a complete class act. But like having them come out of the woods, even I thought, listen, Paige has her.
Yeah,
but,
because Paige is in my opinion, like one of, if not the greatest, like closer in like.
Oh, listen,
cross country.
We found out last week from a gym that. Last year, her mile was the fastest 15-year-old in the world.
Yeah. She got a New Balance national. She
beat the world.
Sadie Engelhart, who is now at NC State and is one of the top freshmen in the NCAA right now.
Sadie's amazing.
Yeah, so she's already like she's on a completely different level for a junior, and she's going to be, I think she's going to be probably going to break her own record again. Her own state record again coming up in in indoor and outdoor.
And they do it again next year. The same too. And then you had a freshman from Union Catholic breaking 18 minutes.
Yeah, Harper.
But like Alex, my favorite part of the whole meet was that I was able to run to the back and back down to the start for 2 races and make it both times.
So my favorite part,
I made it, man.
My favorite part was getting a phone call from Dave mid women's race, him going and him cutting in and out because Homedale has the worst service and it's always had terrible service.
Oh my God.
And hearing David, I'm like, Dave, I can't hear you. And before this, he was trying to text me updates, but I guess he didn't want to like fall while he was running. So he tried to call me, and all I'm hearing is like the Blair Witch Project as he's trying to talk. Like it was funny.
So many coaches do that though. They'll try to run up to the hill 400 meters in, and they'll try to come back down.
Mile mark. I made it up to the mile mark and then back down. It was.
I used to do. I coached for a few years.
I thought I had way more time, but I'm like, I mean, because in the past, because I hadn't been there in a long time, so in the past for every girls race, I'm like, I got time. Not when they're running 17:15 and 17:17. You don't have as much time. Like, I got to get down there. I got to start going.
So I also want to give, a few shout outs. Clay Stevens. I thought Clay Stevens really answered the call to what people, I think there was a lot of doubt for what Clay was going to be able to do. Cause I think Clay will tell you himself, he didn't have the XC season he really wanted to have. But I think just the way he came in there, he was game. Dave told me he had second for a little. He came out, took the lead, hung on to second for a little, and still finished with a massive PR at Homedale.
15:34, man.
To just answer the call. So Bakari from the men's side over there as the men's reporter, where do you feel, how does Clay now set himself up in terms of just mentally and physically for indoor after that performance?
Well, I think Clay is actually set up really good because this one thing that I didn't realize early on in the season until really talking to Manalapan's coach, Brian Prendergast, that this was strategic. Like it wasn't like he was just bombing every race. He was sitting back in the pack, helping his teammates PR and getting their times up so that they could go for a state title, which worked out as we saw, and they captured their state title. But what surprised me at first was, groups. He didn't run his best race at groups. Jack had a great race. But
Jack was my dark horse pick for meet of champs. If Jack didn't get sick, I think Jack might have actually. He would have had something to say. He would have had something to say
before me.
Yeah,
he had a great race, and I think even Clay would tell you like he just simply didn't run his best race, which shocked me because I was like, oh well, he kills Homedale whenever he goes there. His experience on the course, and then he comes out and he just shocks everybody. 15:35 and runs that great time. I think that's the momentum that you want to close out with. There's still stuff to look forward to indoors. This is his senior year. It's not like he's gonna want to go out and just not race his best. Of course, he's gonna want to race his best. Go out strong. So I think this sets him up really nice for indoor. It's gonna be a tough challenge.
very well.
And NXR too. So he's not even.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. I think this.
And
he runs well at Bowdoin. Like he's ran well at Bowdoin before.
That's in my backyard, baby. Bowdoin's right in my backyard.
Yeah,
I'm up here. I'm up here in Poughkeepsie Wappingers. That's right in my backyard.
We'll be up there next week. We'll be up there this weekend.
Man, that second mile up that hill though is just miserable. People talk about the bowl. The first thing, Dave, I don't know if you've ever been to Bowdoin, but Bakari and Corey, you could say that whole second mile is just a 40, like not even probably like a 30-something degree, just upgrade the whole time for almost.
I tried walking. Even walking it will get your legs tired.
It sucks. It's miserable.
Yeah,
it's a struggle to even try and drive down it sometimes. And then you're trying to have people run down it. Like, I tell people all the time, that is like Homedale is hard, but Bowdoin is a different animal. And I love watching, our guys especially run it, because you really get to see like who's adept at all courses. That's a real test of who can run anywhere. And I think if a guy runs really well at Bowdoin, it's like he's solidified himself as,
When you guys come up here now, we have a Dave's Hot Chicken right up the road from that. You guys got to go get some Dave's Hot Chicken.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah, if you go the other way from the mall, you gotta go more north, and it's a little bit more north, and boom, you have a Dave's Hot Chicken. Right,
I'm gonna hit that right after NXR.
I might go up to NXR early in the morning and just try to get there for a little early lunch.
Yep.
You guys gotta let me know. I don't know what I'm doing this weekend. You guys all let me know. Maybe I'll
we'll definitely be there. So
we'll both be there. So it's gonna be exciting. I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
Bakari, was there any other race on the boys' side or any other performer or team that you were kind of like, wow, like they kind of impressed you? Because there were a couple I forget his name and I'm sorry, but like to hear that there was a freshman in the top 10 on the boys' side
which is very rare.
Pretty cool, sub 60 or no, maybe it was a sophomore, but I mean like just the fact seniors are usually more, boys are usually more senior ridden, where on the girls' side you'll usually, because like Corey, sorry to change it up, Alex and I just get so excited. But when was the last time that we went into a girls' race? Alex actually brought this up, where there was not a senior who was even like expected to kind of like
be close
for the championship. Like it was just all underclassmen. It's more common on the girls' side, but like usually you have you're like Emma Zawatsky or your Lilia Gordon, like someone there who's been there, who's always there,
or even Peyton Hollis the last few years. Peyton Hollis is always a threat. Right?
This year, it's been a while. Like top runners were like just all underclassmen.
I think Allison Lee was the closest one you were going to get.
Yeah, it's. I can't even think. Not
running 18
flat in the last several years.
17:59 and getting 7th. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I think on the boys'
side, when I saw the clock and I saw first of all, Union Catholic Harper Tosca for her to come in 17:53, just ridiculous.
They averaged 18:11. 18:11.
It's so stupid.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous. Why?
Like the fact that 17:53 gets you third place. I'm sorry, 6th place in a meet of champions,
insane.
I think in 2018, I think the winning time, 2017, I think the winning time was 18:13 for Monica Hedmer from Northern Highlands. So think about
Well, I mean, even 2 years ago when 2 years ago when Emma beat Paige, that was over 18 minutes.
I think Emma had just maybe gotten a little under 18.
It was 17:54. I want to 54.
But again, that time wouldn't have even gotten you would have maybe gotten you the top 5.
Yeah.
So I'll still say this to anybody running over at Homedale as a girl. If you are under 18, that is still an incredibly impressive barrier. It's still going sub 18 at Homedale is still a milestone that everyone in the
sub
girls'
19 is great running.
The depth is insane. So I gave a shout out to him Thursday. I'm doing it again today to Coach McCabe, Coach Lynch, Coach Torchia, Sean McCafferty, all of you guys, Coach Lenny, there is a art to coaching greatness. There really is. People think that it's easy, but there is an art to keeping Paige Shepard grounded, right? After she's the sprinter, and she gets out kicked by Leah. And to have her be such a gracious leader, that's a natural thing, right? It's natural for her, but it's also great coaching on Coach McCabe's part to train them that way. And also for Leah being a gracious champion and being so tough, the girl we thought she could be. Coach Lynch doing great things there, and then also Coach McCafferty and Torchia on the men's side. CBA, like they told Bakari, you haven't seen us yet, and just to have that overwhelming confidence, and also there's a pressure on CBA. Every single new Class 2 continues to be CBA, right?
Of course.
And so just to both sides. So really quick, Corey, to you. Obviously, you've been talking to the coaches throughout the season and stuff like that. What have you seen from both Coach Lynch and Coach McCabe to kind of get here? And did you kind of expect their girls to respond this way based off how you've talked to both coaches?
Yeah. When I talking to Coach Lynch, throughout, really throughout the year and all that stuff. And I think the biggest thing that Coach Lynch has really emphasized is, getting Leah's confidence up. I think when Leah came into the high school level, again, she was always super talented. She was
a phenom. She was sub 5 in 8th grade, so we knew we were getting a talent.
5-minute time in the 1600.
Yeah.
She had competed at the national level before. Yeah. Was already a highly touted runner and all that stuff. And she did great freshman year. She was 10th media champions, won the Group 2 title. But I think the thing is, she didn't really know yet that she could she belonged with those top girls. She had the talent to be up there with Paige, with Allison Lee, with those girls. But for her, it was just more about getting accustomed to cross country and just developing.
And also,
she definitely found her stride in the spring when she won Meet a Champ.
Yes,
and I think also it was real easy for her to get down on herself in indoor 32, right? Because she was coming in as someone who was should have battled. We thought it was going to be her and Lilia just going to the wire, and Lilia takes off and runs an amazing race. Does her job as a senior, puts the gauntlet down, and Leah runs a massive PR, but still couldn't do it. Could have been real easy to fold, buckle in, but I have to give credit to Coach Lynch. Credit to Liv Palutis, who was the senior leader there, who was coming into her own as well, and to continue to be a rock. Yes, to be great for Leah. And that whole entire unit to rally around her. I think it was a great job there. And, Coach Lynch has a special place in our heart. Me and Dave both coached Coach Lynch. He's from my town in Manchester. So,
he's a fantastic guy. Fantastic.
And for him to be so young and so early in the sport, to have the success of Sadikoff, Valencia, Olivia Palutis. He's had and now Leah Starkey, these all-time greats that he's pulling his hairs out trying to keep them mentally stable.
That Sadikov Bryce Tucker battle was honestly, I could go.
That was my first meet champions, actually. I remember that. Yeah, Sadikov broke the short conference record and still came in second.
They were I think they were US 1 and 2, and that's insane.
Yeah, listen, I even want to bring up too, Coach Lynch took over for Coach Paul Looney. I know.
Looney's amazing too.
This fall, and Coach Looney has been there at Ocean Towns for a while.
Yes.
And he was a big part of Leah's breakout cross country year. So for him to take over and kind of realize okay, here's what the plan is. We want to kind of build your confidence up. We want to get work on your kick and all that stuff. Because again, I think that was the biggest thing that Coach Lynch wanted to see out of Leah, was kind of improving her kicking the last last mile of race, or in the last 100 200 meters and all that stuff, and not burn out. And you kind of saw that at the 3200 meter champions, where she kind of just takes off in those last few laps, and she won that race pretty handily. Being a freshman, and winning the 3200 at a really stacked outdoor media champions that featured Allison Lee, Leah Gordon, other talented seniors there.
Absolutely.
And then continue that momentum into, cross country, where, she, I think her first meet, she, shattered the Ocean County Park record, course record, and then further lowered it down at the short conference meet. So, she's a phenomenal runner.
And it is she's been training hard all year. So some people are maybe it was too much too early, but I just have trust in Coach Lynch. It's just so proud to have known him when he was younger, and just to know that his coaches in high school, Coach Griff and Chef, those guys, they just instilled such a passion for this sport, and now he's out here. He's just, it's just great to see him have a talent like that, and to see him be able to get her to where she needs to be, and to keep getting better and better. It's awesome.
Yeah, truly.
So quickly, before we go to the men's side, though, I want you to talk a little bit about Coach McCabe and the job that he's done, not only with Paige, but he's also dealing with, where Coach Lynch is worrying about, obviously he's a great coach for his whole team, but worrying about one main athlete being in this Meet of Champions level. Mm-hmm. Coach McCabe is trying to foster one of the best runners in the country in Paige Shepard, while also having the deepest team and trying to bring them all along as well. So his job is massive as well. So talk a little bit about Coach McCabe and the job you thought he did balancing, okay, I'm trying to get Paige to win, but we also have a team title to win
here. Yeah. And I want to say too, Union Catholic, with just the way they kind of like run the program, it's really just a next woman up mentality there. They obviously they've been dealing with some injuries, they're dealing with some missing runners and all that stuff this year. And, just the way they've battled and they've had just new runners stepping up. I mean, Safa Ellis is just one runner who just, was a part of their top 5, at, both groups and Meet of Champions. She was phenomenal. Harper, Union Catholic freshman that, was 6 at Meet of Champions, stepped up huge for them. And just the way, coach has been, been able to also kind of, develop like the talents of, Paige Shepard and Kaylee Kaiser, 2 of, my opinion, like the greatest, probably the best 1-2 punch in New Jersey country history. 100%. It's been phenomenal. And going into Meet a Champion, I mean, going into groups again, their focus wasn't necessarily. I mean, again, they've been thinking about breaking this Holmdel Park team average record since the beginning of the year, when they kind of brought back pretty much everybody from last year's team that won Meet of Champions. Won Nike regionals. Again, went to Nike nationals and all that stuff, but they just were more focused on just like winning. It wasn't necessarily about the record. So, I mean, while that was on their mind, they prioritized winning and just doing the best they can for just themselves and the team first before the record came in.
And I mean, and also Union Catholic on the boys' side, getting third, missing a couple runners on, that they had. So, I mean, great job.
Union Catholic. I mean, even the boys team. I mean, for them to, they were. They reclaimed that, Union County title this year, or Westfield. I was there. They have a bright future ahead. And they're going to be good on the track too. I think
they're all juniors pretty much. They're all pretty much going to be back next year. That Union Catholic team is going to be really good, really good.
Yeah, I think they're gonna start, making a push. I mean, towards kind of being, I think, the second best team for the on the boys side. Mm-hmm. But speaking of the girls just a little bit more, for them to, not only go into groups, again, break that team average record at Holmdel Park by 2 seconds, then to lower it down to 18-12 at Meet of Champions, and literally have 3 girls under 18 minutes. And I think they're like, it's just ridiculous. Like it is truly mind blowing. Like how well they executed, and even Coach McCabe was concerned initially, when he saw Paige, Kaylee, and Harper go out as fast as they did initially, but they just held it. And Coach McCabe even told me if you go up that fast in the first mile and you're going out and again, I think they were going out well faster than they initially planned on it, but it ended up working out because they all hit huge PRs. Yeah. I mean, Harper breaking 18 for the first time. I mean, Kaylee Kaiser, I think, is now number 12 in Holmdel Park history with her time. Number 4 all time in Holmdel Park history. Ridiculous.
And the names in front of them are Angelina Perez and Caitlin Tui, right? Yeah. Between ahead of Leah and Paige. So it's like that 2 pretty good names ahead of them.
Yeah, speaking of that, I truly do think that not only am I very sure that record will go down. I mean, Angelina Perez is a phenomenal runner, and speaking of which, she actually is going to the nationals. She just qualified out of her
awesome
region,
for Angelina,
which is great. And she's been through so much, and
I mean, she's been battling injuries. She's in I think she's in a really good spot right now. I think we're going to see the best version of Angelina. I really do.
Yeah, she's doing phenomenal out there at Wake Forest. But yeah, I mean, I think not only will Paige and Leah not only shatter that, I think they'll probably go both under 17.
So here's the thing I like. I mean, being there this Saturday, I just can't fathom in my mind how Caitlin Tui ran 16:21. Yeah. How is that? Yeah. How is that? That's almost a minute faster than what we just saw.
Yeah.
I think Caitlin Tui, I think for me was like she was like kind of like in a sense like that celebrity like star power. Like whenever she came to a meet, any meet, track and field, cross country, like all eyes were on her, and like
as they should be.
Like she was true, like
it was kind of like Sid was on the track, right? When Sid stepped on the track, everyone paid attention.
Everybody,
even though like Caitlin Tui like didn't go to the Olympics, so she like the star power that she had, I think was like almost in some ways similar to what Sydney had. Just because,
and I think Mary Kane even too. Before Mary got destroyed by Alberto, Mary Kane had that same exact aura about her. So Bakari, I want to jump to you, and before we talk about CBA. I want to talk about the battle for second because I think that battle for second was just as important between, obviously Union Catholic, Manalapan, Ridge, Cherokee, Haddonfield. Like, there was a group of 5 that all were trying to do the same thing. I think they all kind of knew CBA's depth was ridiculous. They were going to go, don't get me wrong, everyone was going to go at them.
Sure.
But they were all trying to position themselves to run their best race to get that second and third. So how do you feel about obviously watching these teams setting up, seeing what races they were going, how their guys were running? Do you think that it ended up lining up the exact way you thought it would, or were there surprises on the men's side with how they competed?
I'll say that I do feel like it lined up pretty how I thought it would. Haddonfield didn't really run their top guys until later in the season. You saw them, which usually they don't even run their top guys at counties, and they brought them all out and they put on a show. And same thing in Colonial Conference action, put on a show. And that kind of, once I saw that, I'm like, okay, these guys are for real. I was a little shocked that they sat out pretty much all their guys at sectionals. But I think when you have a team and you see teams that are actually doing this a lot more now, it just goes to show how much depth is in cross country these days. Like you have guys fighting for that 7th spot, whereas usually your top 7 is your top guys that can go in and are interchangeable and things like that. So I would say I figured Haddonfield senior class, very strong senior class, between Luke, Ryan, Ben, Peter, a lot of strong kids. And I was like, okay, that's, in my opinion, was the clear cut second best team. Obviously, rankings, you gotta run.
It was after groups. After groups, I was like, all right, like all year, like different teams, took turns being second. Like for a while, Manalapan was there. Union Catholic was up there for a while. But I think after groups, Haddonfield kind of established himself as the next team. That was
16-15, I mean, is crazy. And then, they dropped it down to 16-09. That's
pretty good.
It's crazy to think that, like, we're, like, sitting here lauded, just overly ecstatic about what CBA did, that you seem to forget, like, there was, like, what, I think 4 or 5 teams under 1630 average. I mean, that's crazy.
And we were spoiled a few years ago by Westfield, right? Coach Stefanski, what they did with Westfield, we were spoiled to see that. And,
Haddonfield just had the second fastest public school average ever.
Second fastest.
And that's the thing. Like, we tend to forget, like Bakari said, like 1630 was the standard for a good public school, right?
Yeah.
If your team averaged 1630, it's a really good public school. Yeah. Once you got to that 1615, you were in hallowed ground to some of the best of all time, right? And we now have had, within 3 years, 2 schools going sub 1610 as an average, as a non-private school, public school. Like, that's hard. There is no, like, the thing is, and, I will never knock schools like UC, CBA, but they build that culture, and parents and athletes understand, if I'm at a high level, maybe I want to go there, right? Yeah. Because they're all there, and that's kind of that's their focus. There's no distractions, especially CBA. It's an all boys school. There is no distractions outside of our sport, right? But it's so much more difficult. Dave will attest to this. I went to the wrong one. There you go, Dave. Dave will attest to this, being in the public school side, where you deal with the cards that are dealt, right? And you have your ups, you have your downs, and your goal is to build that culture so that your downs aren't here. They're just kind of there. And I think we're seeing a great job with a lot of these public schools.
They are.
Coach Prendergast, we're friends with Coach Tefelsky as well. And Westfield
has been
Haddonfield's
been great forever. I mean,
yes.
First with
culture
Coach Baker, and then now
Baker, man, a legend, one of the greatest coaches in all.
it takes that great culture, and people can say what they want about CBA. Like, they have culture. Like, when you're at that meet and you see all of their fans running around, like they have a culture, and that's what wins these days as a team. Is you need that culture where you have kids wanting to go. I mean, that's what I aspire.
I think that's the one thing.
From CBA, I probably count at least 50 or 60 CBA sweaters, at least probably more.
Absolutely.
Just like,
I think that's the one thing I'm hearing more and more is like culture. That's the one thing I'm hearing more and more from coaches is like it's all about building a culture and building a place where these kids want to get better. They want to run. They want to put on their best, and not just for them but for the team. And I think like you said, you saw that with Manalapan this year. Coach Prendergast set that culture, and it paid off. They ended up capturing a state title. CBA has had that culture for years. Haddonfield, another school that has had that culture for years, going back.
Cherokee too.
Cherokee's another one.
Like when I was in school, 1990s, like we would go. Like, I was Tom Jersey South, so we were actually in South Jersey, so we would go there and be close. But then a lot of the schools, when they would come up to Homedale, it wouldn't translate. But Haddonfield and Cherokee and so many of those South Jersey schools who don't necessarily have hills really to translate have just completely blown that whole.
They've taken it very seriously.
I just want to say too, like South Jersey, like really, like, I mean, people sometimes will like give South Jersey some slack and all that stuff because they don't have a lot of those hills. But like, let me tell you, like a lot of those top teams, like even like Paul VI girls, like
always
they were like I think a few seconds off the South Jersey team average record at Homedale Park. Haddonfield was like 1936 team average. Cherokee, like those teams, like on the girls side, like completely showed out. Had phenomenal days. And they don't have the advantage of being able to run at Homedale Park, like,
but
like some of these other short conference teams and all that stuff. So
they figure it out because they have the culture and that they have the kids. So those coaches figure it out, and it's no longer even a question,
Yeah, they proved themselves, and they had a day. I think that this was I think that's what one takeaway I had on both the boys and girls side, that like South Jersey really had a phenomenal day.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so let's get to it real quick. CBA, Coach McCafferty and stuff like that. Coach Torchia, Bakari. You said you talked to them and they said you haven't seen it yet, and we're coming out. Were you surprised to see just how well they came out? In that, not just that they did it and they were near their record, or maybe they just broke it, but it was pretty convincing, especially with Knott and Schmidt out front, really leading, really good times up there to lead them out. So was it surprising just to see how serious they were?
It was. Honestly, it was, because CBA is a team that, even when they're not running their best is still going to be really, really, really good. And so when you see something like that, I feel like it's always surprising, just because like that is such an insane time for just their top, not just their, like we said, not just their top 5, their top 7. And so, yeah, I was a little surprised to see how well they ran. But I think the one thing that I took from it was, like I said, culture. I mean, the thing from talking to them that I got was they feel like they have nothing to lose. NXN last year was a bit of a disappointment for them. They felt like they could have done a lot better. And they said we were matched up on the line with a lot of these guys that we're going to see, these guys at NXR. We're going to see these teams, and a lot of them are, ranked. We pay attention to that stuff, and
as they should.
And Coach McCaffrey, that's
like Don Bosco in football. Don Bosco's not looking at their jersey schedule; they're looking at their regional and national schedule, right? Like there's levels. There are levels.
Exactly. And talking to Coach McCaffrey, he said, the one thing I told him was, talk is cheap. And he said they kind of got pissed off by that. And I found that funny, because I'm like, only CBA guys would get pissed off and go out and shatter their own previous records.
I love that. You gave them fuel. I wonder if they posted it up. Like, you gave them, like, this is like classic, like, pro stuff. Like, literally. You gave us bulletin board stuff. Look at this man, Bakari Tice, been around the sport for 3 seconds and he's doubting us. Like
literally. And he basically said, like, yeah, like, they wanted to come out and show out. And I talked to one impressive performance I thought was Sean Galvin, their third guy, and he's he bounces around between their third, sometimes he's their fifth, but he ran I think a 16:28 the week before, and Coach McCaffrey told me he tripped and he had a little fall, and then he comes out and he shaves 37 seconds off PR.
Like, they all ran PRs. I mean,
Wyatt. Oh, yeah.
Wyatt Falkowski running.
Falkowski ran
forward. Yep. Breaking, as I mean, I just can't imagine a team where their fifth guy is 15:54.
15:54. It's
crazy.
Just it's insane. And I think so. I will say it definitely was surprising because I expected them to come out and I expected them to win, obviously. But
yeah, I think we all did. Yeah.
I didn't know if I didn't really expect the record to go down. I thought it was wishful thinking, and then they come out and do that and said, yeah.
I thought well. It was a weird meet to be at because every other meet that I've ever been to, there's always more hype or more people there to watch the boys race.
Yeah,
but not this year.
This year was all about the girls race.
Yeah, girls race goes off.
Corey, it was all Corey this year. He got
girls race goes off and it finishes, and then all right, the boys will start. But once they were on the course, there's something special happening. Like all around. I'm like, we're gonna have guys running real. Like after the girls ran, I'm like, it's gonna be a fast race.
Yep.
Weather's great. It's been a chance. Everyone's going for it. And did I think I wasn't surprised, obviously, that CBA won. But we hadn't seen all other guys in every race. So it was almost like we didn't really know what they were capable of. But after groups last week and talking to Lambert, he was kind of saying the same things that you were saying, that they feel like they can go faster and to go out and do it. I was impressed by the 1540, certainly impressed by the 1551 for top 7. And scoring was it 25 points in mid champs? That's
so impressive.
It's funny.
Haddonfield finished with 90, and that's crazy.
Now I hear
a great score. 90 is a great score.
Still a great score. But listen, they ran a 16:09.
Yeah, and I think if Haddonfield did fall out of the national rankings, they started the year, I believe, number 24, number 25 in the nation. They should probably rejoin the national rankings. Probably
a 16:09 average at Homedale.
Yeah, they should be in the top 25 now.
That wins a lot of major meets, man, in other places.
That wins a lot of major meets in this state until the last 5 years.
So I want to jump in real quick. We got a few comments. We got Sequence 247 put in Bakari Tice, and then coming back with Corey, and then as always we have Coach Torchia coming in. Still, 20 years ago, no one could imagine these times, and I think that's true for both the men's.
You're damn right, Coach. You're damn
honestly,
right.
I think that's true for both the men's and the women's side. We've seen some outliers, but I think what's bizarre now is just the depth, right? Because before you had your kids running 1530s, 1540s, 1520s, and the guys, but there would be maybe one of them, two of them together. Now there's groups all together. There is a massive group of sub 16. That's insane that you have these athletes. You have a massive group of sub 18 girls, sub 1830. It's
15 boys
bigger than it ever has been,
guys.
I bet you CBA's average of 1540 wins more meet champs than they would lose throughout the history.
Yeah,
just their team average would
their
win
average as a time,
as an individual time. Yeah. Their top 5 average of 1540 would win most years. Would probably win more than lose in the individual race.
Yeah.
You could probably potentially say that with Union Catholics at 1812. That's probably a winning. That's
absolutely,
100%.
Half the meet champions.
I remember when I was a senior. Eamon Blanchard won in 1602, and I'm like, wow, that's really fast. It's just, Coach is absolutely right.
And it is fast.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. 1602 is fast. See, I always say I was spoiled because I had Craig Forries, and Craig Forries was doing the same exact thing when I was there. Craig Forries, the tale is he won one of those meet champs. He dislocated his hip halfway through, finished and won. Okay, the man was a different breed back in high school. I had the privilege of rooting for him racing against Matty Centrowitz in high school in the Dream Mile. It was fun to even be near him, compete against him, talk to him, be around him. I was spoiled with that. So I got to see this, but not everyone gets to have those generational talents like we're seeing now. Yeah. And, I also had I had Danielle Toro, who we've had on the show, Jillian Smith, oh God, what was her name? The other Southern one that was
Chelsea
amazing.
Cox.
Yes, Chelsea Cox. And her brothers, Charles and Corey, who ran
at Monmouth.
And Monmouth, like, man, it was just, I was so spoiled. I was so spoiled. I had a great time to run in the early 2000s.
Yeah, the early to mid 2000s for the boys and girls. That was great.
I mean, Coach is absolutely right. I mean, like 20 years ago, like we couldn't have fathomed what
20 years ago was my time, so we did Coach Torchia, okay? 20 years ago was my time.
I think what also helps
we didn't see overall times. We didn't see
not this deep.
It's crazy.
I think what also helps too is just the advancement of, like, again, obviously now you have Miles, but now you can easily see the times.
Strava.
There's obviously online resources now. I think people are starting to take recovery now more seriously, and I feel like teams are at least some teams are starting to kind of figure out, okay, maybe it's not just all about high mileage and pumping all these miles out per week. Maybe it's about cross training, maybe it's about incorporating different kinds of weight training, stuff like that. I feel like that's
training in general is just that there's so many different ways for coaches to have training available to them, that, like, I always say when I was growing up, like, if you didn't have a good high school coach, like, that really hindered you. Now you can train by yourself and just go online. I mean, you can even chat GPT something and it'll work. It's not going to be great, but
here's
work.
The thing. Dave knows me. I'm actually tired of seeing all these kids training like adults. Can you guys go be kids again? Like, I think like where they're being adults way too quick. They are stopping doing kids things. They're becoming
the whole sport now, man.
Regimented.
It's the whole sport.
But for what? Like, I'm going to be a little mean here, okay? If you were a senior and you just ran a 15:54, 55, you're great. Mm-hmm. You're going to go to college and have a good career, but you're still going to go do your job after college. I'm sorry. Like, unless you have a ridiculously good college career and you could see a pro contract, don't waste your youth,
Alex,
going to bed early in high school.
Oh, but these kids, it's transitioned to their whole life, like that they are better students. Like this discipline has kind of transitioned.
Go get in trouble. Go get in trouble. But when you're under 18, get in trouble. You're not going to jail. Like this is the time. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the thing for me. I love this for the fan side of it. It's amazing. But I still want kids to be kids, because then you know what? You sit there and you go and they get through college and then they become very apathetic, angry adults because they weren't kids for 8 years that they should have been.
But these kids, but this is them being kids. Like, this is what they love.
See, at least I agree with that. If it's what they love to do and they really enjoy doing this on a day in basis, and I think that's the one thing I'll say about cross country that
They're way more dedicated than we ever were when I was young. Not even close. Like, I went to McDonald's every day. These kids watch me eat.
I mean, I graduated high school.
Watching me eat. It's impressive.
It's even different now. I mean, some of these kids, like, they eat, sleep, breathe, track, cross country, running. Like, I talk to some kids who literally, like, they tell me, oh, like, I've completely changed my diet. I wanted to go eat fast food after a meet. I didn't care. Like, I wanted to enjoy my.
I didn't know. Like no one told. I mean, obviously, I knew that I shouldn't eat McDonald's.
Of course.
But your fast food was much better than the current fast food. Like, our whole fast food now is just all plastic. At least you were getting pink goo with your chicken. That was probably better.
It's a double-edged sword, though. It's tough because it's like, I think coaches are doing a better job of this now, where they're not putting too much pressure on these kids to, like, succeed. At the end of the day, like, it's great to see all these phenomenal times and all that stuff, but, like, at the end of the day, they're still high school students.
And listen,
I would say most of these kids won't be going on to pro.
I think Consequence agrees with me. Thank you, Consequence.
I think there's
that's what I'm assuming.
I think a big change that isn't talked about enough is that you're able to train so much without interruption now, because they got rid of dual meets. Like, now that, like, you don't have to have that midweek silly race.
Man, I miss dual meets. They were so much. It was a better time with dual meets. It really was. It was a better time.
Not for your big time programs. It was a hindrance. It was an annoyance.
We shouldn't be catering to only our big time.
Dave, let me ask you this.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Here's
the thing, real quick, Corey. Here's my argument for dual meets. Though that senior that's still on the team that runs a 22 as a guy gets to run in 7 more meets that matter.
So many JV meets now that It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but then they get put in the invitational and they get 400th place.
I see.
I'm sorry.
I think I enjoy dual meet. For me, dual meets were like practice. They were great. They were great practice.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's a chance for you to go out and run and not be afraid to finish last.
One school that actually still prioritizes dual meets, Demarest actually does a dual meet with Old Japan. Demarest and Old Japan are two of like the top track and field programs usually in the spring, indoor and outdoor. Yes. They have an annual dual meet, and they go and they put all their top kids in there. Like none of their top kids sit. Demarest won the Group 2 Boys title outdoors and all that stuff. So they're a phenomenal program, and they didn't sit any of their kids. They went full throttle at that meet, and it's for them it's just like it's a rivalry. It's
during
and it matters
during cross country, not having that mid-season or that like midweek.
If you're a smart coach, you use it as training, right?
Yes.
Because if you're going against a squash team and you're telling your guys to go out hard, then that's on you as a coach, right?
But you'd rather just get
use it as a tempo. Like you can use. Here's the thing: that's such an excuse, and it's a bad excuse that coaches use to be a little lazy. I'm sorry, I will call out every coach.
No, it's just not. Use the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It's not even. That is ridiculous. As a
workout. I used to get workouts all the time in my cross country races when I knew I was going to win. Okay,
it's a different level now, man. It's a different level.
Yeah, but there's the thing: if there was a kid that was worth challenging, we battled.
What the hell would CBA get out of having 6 dual meets?
Maybe getting upset and a kicked in the ass every once in a while. They're not going to run hard. They're not running 15-20 in a.
They've run like 7,000 straight dual meets. Like, they're not getting in trouble. Like, they're not losing. Like, come on.
I was literally at their 400. I was at their 400 straight dual meets.
No, but even in general, like where I'm at now, dual meets would be such a hindrance. We don't have it's so hard to have those kids run so many races.
So
especially in track.
Dave, since you've been around for a while, you coach ES1 and all that stuff. Do you know when that you started seeing the shift away from dual meets for a lot?
I didn't coach for a while. It was definitely in the time when I wasn't coaching.
It was probably like the 2010s and 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, they started doing so. Real quick, I'll say they started going to tri-meets, and that was the first thing that started to knock away the duels. They would do tri-meets, and then it eventually went to, okay, we're going to decide. After tri-meets, it became just, we're going to do the Ocean County Championships. Okay. And that's what we decide. But it started off with tri-meets and stuff like that, and they would host the tri-meets. Usually some of them would go and do them at OCP because it would be like, okay, let's get used to that course before counties anyway and stuff like that. So that's kind of where it started off, at least in the short conference in where I was over at Manchester and stuff. But still, I've always said I like dual meets. I like them at all the spots. Some of my best memories were being against a team in track and field and gathering around the high jump, because that high jump between us and that other team would decide the division title.
It would.
Not one massive meet where anything can happen and there was very little strategy and you just ran hard and you treated it like every other invite. It was not half as fun. It was fun running dual.
And really more kids mattered. More kids mattered.
More kids mattered.
And they do at those
100%.
Corey, back on XC quick. So now that we're past MOC, we have another young lady who's going to be put back into the New Jersey representation in Miss Blair Bartlett. So rumor has it that Blair and Paige have already gotten their golden tickets to Brooks, so they don't have to run regionals. Why the hell hasn't Leah gotten her golden ticket yet?
We've added Brooks on X to say they need to get the golden ticket, man. Like that needs to happen.
Like, why does Leah still have to run regionals? But is it because the other two are going to NXX?
Well, so Leah, I believe, is going to and I have to double check, but I think Leah is planning on going to Brooks, and she didn't want to run it at NXR because of the course. Because
there's no team title for her, so why run?
And it's just going to be a lot, and plus the course at Brooks is a lot less grueling and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Than like you.
Plus, that's at Balboa Park where they've run the Foot Locker for it's a famous park. But I just want to know why the other two have tickets, and I don't know if you know anything about how, because I never heard about.
Well, I know
it feels like freaking Willy Wonka to me with all these.
So I know. It's funny actually. I believe Sadie Engelhart, one of the top distance runners, and now in the college level, gave Paige her golden ticket. And all that stuff, and Blair obviously will be there, and then Leah
both extremely they both deserve to have golden tickets.
Yes.
But obviously, I think Leah does as well. Like
with this performance, Leah's top 10 in the country now. So
yeah,
they're not top 10 in the country with a golden ticket.
Milesport has her in the top 25 in the nation right now. So
yeah, but that's all based upon times, and like you can't compare Homedale Park to some.
I think it's just individually. I think their individual ranking is just like regardless of course. So yeah, I mean, I think I have to talk. I think Coach Lynch did mention that they are just going straight to nationals. I mean, maybe it's not publicly known that like she got a road ticket and all that. So I know that they keep that under wraps.
Yeah.
But Leah, I mean, yeah, the time she's run, I mean, like again, well under 17 minutes for a PR. I mean, like 17-15 at Homedale. Like she is one of the top 25, runners in the country. And I think
where does Blair fit now? Like because in my opinion, based on time, she's the favorite who would have won me a chance. Like last Thursday, Alex, I and Jim were begging her to come to Homedale and run the freaking alumni race early to just drop a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were all joking, but that would have been the absolute story.
Oh yeah,
if he goes and runs like 17:10, and then they're trying to chase her. That would have been great.
Yes, you know what's a shame, and this is like something that again I wish I would have saw at the Short Coach Invitational. We had Paige Shepard and Blair Bartlett in the same. They should have been in the same race. They were in different divisions.
Yeah.
So should Leah. They should have a championship race. Like run with your team, but like here's a race we're going to put all the best individuals.
Short coaches should have a golden ticket system.
Yes,
because now short coaches look like you're getting a lot of teams from out of state too. Like it's becoming a very big invitational. So it's like have a championship race. Don't just say like because then. I don't know, but I mean, maybe coaches don't want that because it's so early in the year.
It's so funny. The short conference meet doesn't matter as much as the short coaches meet. Like it's crazy to really think about that.
I think it's because
I just wish
if short conference was at Homedale, it definitely would. I'll say that.
Well, it'll be at Homedale next year.
Yeah.
But I don't think so because like it's to me, short conference because I'm a guy from Bush County. Used to be this huge prominent meet, but now like it's just an extra race that the Ocean kids and Mom County kids have to run at the other rest of the state doesn't. So coaches are now like, I'm not going to make my kid run there. So it's become a lot less of a meet, especially in track. It's become a lot less of a meet. Like there's a lot of kids who just don't go anymore.
There were a handful of kids on the boys side who did not run. I don't think Stevens was there.
No, he was not there.
Yeah, and then I don't think Luke also from
Manalapan didn't run at all. They didn't run at all. They ain't even run at all. None of the top 7. So
I'm a conference champion from when it mattered, baby. My 800 was back from when it mattered, baby.
Yeah, but I really to see NXR though with Paige and Blair. Yeah. I wish it was there, but I know she'll be at Brooks Nationals. Doing her thing there. But I think the battle between Paige Shepard and Blair Bartlett at NXR Nike Cross Regional is just going to be phenomenal.
So where does Blair fit? Because like she hasn't run many races, but every race that she's run has been breathtaking. So
yeah,
I mean, 16. I don't care if he runs downhill. 16-16 is fast.
Yeah. And people were saying, because Petty's because the time she ran that at was Petty's course.
It was on the roads. I don't care where it is.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It matters. Still 5K, still phenomenal time.
Okay, it's on a track. That's fast.
Yeah. And like, what she did was just phenomenal. And I think it's gonna be a battle. I think.
What do you think Paige's strategy is going into this, right? Because obviously Blair and Leah are two different runners. I think Blair is much closer to the way Paige likes to run. I think they're a lot more similar to each other in how aggressive they are in terms of, and they trust their speed late. So, how do you think Paige is going to compete with Blair here? Because this is now a little bit flipped, right? Because I think we all thought it was Leah was the underdog and had a good chance to win, but Paige was the reigning champion. Where now Blair's coming in as number 3 ranked girl in the nation, right? Or she was recently. I don't know if that ranking is still there, but she was the number 2 girl in the nation in die stat. And Blair, obviously Paige is up there. She's a top 10 girl in the nation. But I mean, number 3 is you're right by Addie. I think she was ahead of Addie. Like, that's a big ask. So I think this is a rare time that we're going to see Paige Shepard as an underdog.
Yeah.
So how do you think she's going to handle this?
Blair's 1802 is going to be like, she ran Blair ran 1802 at the Bowdoin XC Classic, which is kind of a precursor to like regionals and gives a chance for girls to see that course before regionals and all that stuff. And that's one of the fastest times. I think I believe it's top 3 for a New Jersey girl at
God.
that's phenomenal. Think about it, like almost sub 18 at Probably
and that was early.
Are we getting sub 18 at Bowdoin at this race? Are we going to see
think
sub 18?
So. I think
again,
both.
To me, it's all about weather. All about weather.
I put my money on it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would check the weather for Saturday, but hopefully, if it's good, I would have a lot of confidence that
Saturday right now, because I'm in the area, 47 degrees and 15% weather and sunny.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see
I think we're going to see some good
man.
And it's going to be, so what are they racing at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, right around that time?
I believe the afternoon, because they usually have it in the afternoon.
If it's in the afternoon, man, they're going to be getting 46 degrees and gorgeous.
Yeah.
We are going to see.
We're going to get good times.
It's going to be a little rainy on Friday, 35% chance, but it'll still be good. It won't be super, super firm. So
and
it's
this
not
is
a bad
thing
thing
about November cross country is that these are it's cool. We're not dealing with the hot weather we dealt with in in October, where it was at one point I was at meets where it was 75 degrees.
Even
degrees
groups this year, the afternoon got kind of warm.
Got warm.
Got warm, yeah. It was like 65.
Definitely
that's really hot.
Morning races and afternoon races, you could definitely tell that the
short coaches was the same way.
Yeah, short coaches. It was 80 degrees by 2 p.m. And I'm like, how are these
these poor kids who have to run in the afternoon? I was like,
you're running the bowl with in 80-degree weather.
I'm not gonna lie, maybe it's my Ecuadorian blood. When it was hot, I was like, you guys can't breathe, but I can. I did so good. I ran my best races in the sweltering heat. Everyone else is like,
honestly, it's interesting. A lot of kids complain about that, I feel. So that's interesting that you had that experience where
I did not.
Oh, I loved it. I love the heat. I could compete in the heat all the time.
So where do we think so we have NXN is what this
So no, real quick. No. We're gonna stop right here. I'm putting these gentlemen on the spot. Paige or Blair? Bakari, I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna put on Corey second. Paige or Blair, who wins this race?
I want to say Blair because I mean what she did at Homedale for short coaches, and like we said, that race wasn't a race where she had a lot of competition in it. She was kind of running by herself, and she still came out and killed it. I would say Blair, just leaning on what she's done this year. But you can never count out Paige. I mean, especially after Saturday. Speaking to the strategy, personally, if I'm her, I sit back and I watch a little bit. I let Blair take it out and see what she does. Paige's kick, like we said, she's such a good closer. She can afford to do that. She can afford to, be patient a little bit, maybe not go out as hard as she would like to, and see and respond to what other people do. I think that's would be the best strategy for her right now. So we'll see what happens Saturday, but I think Blair has the edge just based off, she's running these times in Lawrenceville. Who are they really running against?
The only thing
she's dropping these times.
I would agree, but the only thing is she hasn't raced much as of late, so
that is true.
It's true. You just don't know because Paige is coming off. We know Paige is fit at the moment.
Yeah, right Blair hasn't run in about 2.5 weeks. So
that is true.
But I mean, based on time and everything,
Corey, what you got? Who you got, Paige or Blair? This is big for you being the girls reporter too. So you better make the right decision.
It's really tough because I think if we're looking at course times, I mean, I think Paige just comes in at 18:05 for her course PR. I mean, Blair's at 18:02.
She's so close.
It's going to be tough. I think I would lean. I'm going to honestly go with an upset here. I think Paige is going to be, and I think I remember when Paige lost to Emma Zawaski at the 2022 Media Champions. There was a chip on her shoulder that that you saw throughout that entire and I'm sorry, I think that was 2023 Media Champions.
2 years ago, yeah.
Sorry, 2022 Media Champions. Yeah, and that chip on her shoulder that Paige had, pretty much throughout her entire sophomore year was just phenomenal. And you saw her kind of, break the sophomore course record at the time, and kind of go on to, just dominate. She went on beating across the entire state. And I think that chip, she's going to have the same kind of chip going into, NXR. While I think Blair is, in my opinion, probably one of the greatest already, it was crazy to think, one of the greatest runners in state history. I think Paige, when her back's against the wall, when the pressure's on her, and when she's not necessarily a like big favorite and she's an underdog like she is, I think she rises to the occasion. And I think we've seen it time and time again in the past. When we doubt her, it's
listen.
She really doesn't. So I think she's gonna pull it out. I think what the big thing is though, she needs to not like. I think it's good. She needs to have like if she can kick just a little bit stronger, especially coming out of the woods and going into that final straightaway. If she can kind of outtape Blair, I think Blair will try to create a gap between her.
If you're Blair, you do the same thing that Leah did. You just go.
Yeah.
And just see what Paige can do because I mean, if it was like Ocean County Park, I would pick Paige, but I just don't know. Like Hills, just like that's what I thought Leah had the advantage because she's more of a distance runner. Like Paige is, first of all, Paige's range is her range is ridiculous. You know, like I mean, but Leah and Blair are more that like
they had her running 400s indoors.
They're going to run 10Ks in college, Blair and Leah, whereas Paige is not going to run that in college.
Yeah, Paige is going to probably
1500. You know,
she's proven, and like I'm going to interview her. She felt like people doubt her as a cross country runner because she's such a phenomenal 800-meter runner, mile runner, and all
17. There's no more doubting. That's ridiculous.
They put her. I'm pretty sure. I think if I can remember correctly, UC put her on a 4x4 back in indoor.
Sure.
Yes.
She can run a 55.
Sure,
she can run a 55.
She ran well.
Yeah. She
201, 430.
But I think there is she like. I think the thing is like Paige can close really well. Again, I think while Leah managed to, outkick her there, I think if Paige can keep it close, and really, I think push also Blair, because I think Blair is going to want to, try to create a gap as much as possible. I don't think she wants it to come down to a kick race.
No.
Yeah.
And I think again, if it comes down to that, I think Paige has the advantage. But again, Blair is just the way she like splits her miles. It's insane. Like she can like negative split. Her miles, and I think that's gonna really be key for her too. Is if she can kind of create that gap and kind of just like create so much space that it's too much for Paige to even come back from, I think she'll win. But I think both runners will go under 18. But I think Paige.
How many individuals do you think girl wise we get through to Nike, and how many girls teams from Jersey make it through? So, obviously, Union Catholics should obviously make it through.
So Union Catholic will obviously win. I want to give a shout out to Ridgewood. Ridgewood actually broke the public school team average at Homedale Park at Meet of Champions. And I want to see Coach Steve Premiak has done a great job there with those girls. And those girls, I mean, again, you look at their team average, I think it was 1857, I think around that, which is ridiculous. That's again, I think only Union Catholic.
I think they have a shot to advance.
Yeah, they have a legit shot. They went
the top two teams. Top two teams,
but then there's at large bids. Right. But typically, those at large bids are going to go to like the West Coast because a lot of those fast teams, especially.
How do they do the at large? Is it based on? I would say because if you base it on team average, that's not fair because they are run on different courses.
So and I read the FAQ on that actually. What the committee decides. Apparently, they don't decide just based on NXR. They also use like past meets in general too. Okay. So, big national invitationals, state championships, how they run there.
Let's hope we get two teams going through there. And
yes. I feel good about Union Catholic. And I feel good about Ridgewood. I think Ridgewood.
Any other individuals besides those top three? On the girls' side that we think have a shot. Obviously, Leah is in there.
I'm not entirely sure. I think it's really going to be those top three. And then I think the teams wise, I think UC and Ridgewood should go through. But Ridgewood, I think it was again had a phenomenal, Meet of Champions, Meet of Champions, public school team average record at Homedale Park. I think they'll be able to make it, even though again there's a really good school from Vermont, Champlain Valley, that ended up placing second behind Union Catholic last year. They bring back a good amount of their girls, but I think Ridgewood is just so deep. Again, they had 4 girls under 19 minutes at Homedale.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow. That's phenomenal. So
pretty good, yeah.
That's
massively good.
If you could do that at Homedale, you'll be competitive at Bowdoin Park.
Sure,
I think you're going to be able to
absolutely.
So Bakari, on the boys' side, we got.
So you're not even gonna let me give my pick, Dave?
Oh, I thought. I'm sorry. You don't
Dave,
usually make
why
your.
are you so mean?
So
But no, my thing I'm gonna say is, as much as Coach Duncan does a great job, I don't see Paige Shepard losing 2 races in a row in her career, in a high school career.
Yeah,
that's just my thing, and
that's my point too.
I just don't see her losing 2 races in a row. And I agree with Corey, the chip on her shoulder. When she gets it, she gets that look in her eye, and there's no stopping her. So I think it'll be a good race. And the thing is, like everyone's saying, Paige has to gap her, right? Blair has to gap Paige. Same thing we were saying about Leah. I don't think Paige is going to let her gap her. I don't think she's going to allow it to happen.
I think Paige
Similar
is
to what she did with Leah. She's going to be on her hip, letting her know I am here the whole time. And, the Steve Prefontaine mentality. You're going to have to bleed to beat me. So I think that's what she's going to be doing. But I don't see Paige Shepard losing twice. I think we're seeing 2 girls running around 17:55. And I think it'll be an at the taper, but I think Paige gets this one. So, but I could see either way. It's amazing.
I could see the New Jersey record. I believe Charlotte Bernard from Lawrenceville has that record. I see that record going down. I see both Paige and Blair going under 18 minutes at Bowdoin for sure. I think that's amazing. A definite lock.
Awesome. All right, so go ahead, Dave. What were you asking Bakari?
I was going to ask Bakari. So on the boys' side, we have CBA. We have their individuals. I think Manalapan's going to Nike. I'm sure Haddonfield's probably going. Yeah. How do you think that plays out from a New Jersey standpoint?
CBA, I think CBA locks up. I think this would be their 4th straight title. I believe that they're already looking for it. I'm telling you, they're looking forward to NXR, of course, but the focus is NXN. They want to get back there, and they want to show people that they're still a legitimate contender, and they're a legitimate national.
I think they win this year.
I think they do.
They're a deeper
team, and like they were telling me, they have nothing to lose. Half of them are, a majority of them are seniors, so and they want to go out on top.
For me, on top of it, I mentioned it on Thursday with Jim. This is a different team that has run a different race schedule than last year when you had Joe Barrett, when he was a national level talent, when you wanted to showcase him and give him the opportunity to run as many national level races as possible. Exactly. The team was going with them, and they were running fast over and over and over, where this year, I think there's been much more of a strategy to set up for NXN. So they weren't going to these big national level meets. And I think Knott and Schmidt are looking at it going, but why didn't we go to those?
Yeah.
Like, why weren't we? And I think they have a little bit of a chip. It's like, okay, we're not going to go to these big national meets, but we're going to go get another national title.
Oh, yeah.
So I really see that's just a different mindset mentality where they're deeper. But I also think that both, Knott and Schmidt are going to be like, we're going to go place high individually as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, totally, for sure. I think not. He honestly has a chance to potentially even win. I mean, I think he's a very, very slept on racer. I think he's a very slept on runner. He's very good, and look who he's been around for 4 years. Like this CBA culture is always on to the next. Who's up next? And you look at Schmidt's a junior. He's going to be that guy next year. And
it's ridiculous.
And we already know that, and it's crazy, but that's how they operate. And I think what's going to be interesting to me is seeing, like you said, Dave, the battle for who else could qualify. Haddonfield is up there. I think they have a real legitimate chance to qualify this year. Manalapan, of course, even UC, the boys, they're a very slept on team. There's a couple teams that could potentially, we could see potentially going to nationals. And while all the talk is obviously CBA as they're probably the only real contender to win a national title, but I think, and they're, like you said, they're the only lock, but I think Haddonfield, I would not be shocked if you see them qualify. Not at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bakari, do you think, again, because CBA set that New Jersey state course record at Bowdoin Park, 59, I think, what they ran at regionals. Do you think they're going to be able to best at. I think they should. I think they probably have.
If they did after what they did at home, though, I would.
Yeah.
I think I expecting it. Like I'm kind now. I'm not gonna be surprised this week. Let's just say that if it happens, I'm not gonna be surprised this week.
So where does Clay Stevens fit into this race individually? Right, obviously Manalapan's trying to win, but Clay's got to be coming back with confidence. He ran a massive PR over there at Homedale, and he proved to himself he can run with these guys. Like he's not. Yeah. They're not that far ahead of him, in any given race, right? And obviously, I feel like the strategy is going to be the same. Go run up with those guys, and battle and go to war. I'm the senior. I need to be the one that, sets the tone and goes. So where do we see him? Is he going to run up there? Or would we be surprised if Clay Stevens comes out on top in this race?
I honestly, no, I would not be, because he already ran a 15:53 back there, and now I would say late September.
Yeah, late September. Yeah, he came in second. He was he had a chip on after that. He
ran a 15:53. I mean, and so we already seen him run a 15:35 at Homedale. If he's lowering his PR there, what's to say he doesn't do the same at Bowdoin? I think you're right. I think this is now we're moving out of in-state races. We're looking at regional stuff. These Jersey guys, we already see, after races, they're all high-fiving, talking to each other, at the
those three are going to want to work together, and those three want to go top three and represent Jersey, right? It's not CBA and Manalapan anymore. We're Jersey and we're repping. We're in New York. We're going to kick the doors in New York and show them what Jersey racing is.
I totally think that is what we're going to see. And if Gavin and Luke are out there running and Clay is right there with them, they're all going to go. And that's the thing that I'm really looking forward to seeing is like how they run together, honestly, because that's not something you get to see in state. In state, it's all about, I want to win, I want to beat you. And now it's about, okay, how are we qualifying for nationals? How are we going to represent Jersey on this, huge stage?
Yeah.
So
that's exciting.
I see Clay Stevens breaking up potentially between Luke. Especially if Clay runs his best, I could see him pushing Luke really for that individual title.
Individual title, 100%. Yeah.
100%. It's crazy to think too. It's like, because there are great runners up and down this region too, but we are legitimately looking at Jersey being the cream of the crop on both the men's and women's side, individually and team wise. And it's like, again, I think we're in a rare situation this year where usually you're looking, okay, UC and CBA are going to be the depth team-wise, right? But individually, are we going to get champions out of them? And it's like, not always. Like, there are some really good runners that you're finding up and down this region. So
absolutely,
I think we're in a very cool time for New Jersey running right now in the cross-country side, where we're looking at two teams that are going to be nationally competitive and a bunch of individuals that are going to be nationally competitive. It's
and then
a ton of fun right now.
And it also works out where you can run Brooks and Nike.
Yeah.
So
that is really cool.
I'm just curious how many people, like, obviously Paige and Blair, like, it looks like they're going to run both, but like how many other people, like, say someone has a bad race this week, are they signed up to run at Brooks, the next week? So
well, I know the regional meet, there'll probably be a lot of like New Jersey girls trying to go up to Boston for the region, because there's a regional to qualify for the national, unless you get a golden ticket. Which most kids, I mean, again, they only
Coach Torchia going in there, so don't forget Jay from Colsnack. Yes, do not forget Jay from Colsnack.
He got hurt though, so I would like to see how he is. Like, I mean, he was up there, meet a champs, looking great because he's
I was truly. Jay's a great kid. I've talked to him. Great kid. I've talked to him a bunch of times. He's another super resilient runner, crazy, insane kick.
He has a shot to him. I mean, he was right up there.
And my dark horse, if Jack Tyndall's feeling good. There's my dark horse. If he's healthy and he's not sick, he's going to want to sit there and go, I should have been up there in that top group with Meet of Champs. I'm going to go up there, and he's going to go out with Clay and the CBA guys. And if Jay's up there, like, that's going to be a pack of potentially New Jersey 5. Going up in there, working together.
Oh, yeah.
I think, but there's other guys, you got Brody Wiley.
We have so many guys.
There's so many guys.
It's tough. No, and that's the thing. Like, I think the girls is so good that sometimes we forget how good the boys side is too. And there's so many talented boys across the state.
Every once in a while the girls can get their shine. We talk about the guys every year, right? Every once in a while the girls can have the depth and get their shine. Okay.
Lately though, man, It's
been both.
been even.
It's been both. It's been so
It's
cool.
been both.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
All right, so with that being said, we were going to talk some indoor, but man, we don't have 5 hours. So we're going to go, and what we're going to do is we're going to table it, and I'm going to say Corey and Bakari will be coming back to talk indoor. Maybe we can work it out where Jim is jumping on here, and we could do a nice big one. We'll have Dave not go to sleep early again, and he can be a little bit later, because I know when we get Jim involved, we are going Joe Rogan level.
Listen, there's so much indoor. It
might be a 3-hour show. Yeah,
it's going to be a 3-hour show.
It'll be a 3-hour show, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
What we're going to do instead is we're going to switch it up, though, because I want to now talk to you gentlemen, right? Because you guys are both young men. Dave and I have both said, Dave especially, we are super excited to see young people covering our sport, and not to knock Jim, not to knock Phil, not to knock Paul Schwartz and all these guys, but they were once you guys. They were once the young, bright-eyed individuals. Sure. So first off, neither of you guys better be using this as a stepping stone. You guys are in now. You guys are cross-country track and field reporters. I don't want to see you guys go, but I really want to do football.
I want to see you go. I want to see you go to the best place that takes care of you and your family.
That's true. But overall, so quickly, I'll start with you, Bakari. Number one, how many years have you been covering cross-country track and field? And also, what have you learned about both sports that maybe you didn't know while you were competing as a sprinter and things like that?
This will be my 4th year covering cross-country track and field.
You're a senior.
Yeah. I honestly, like, it's taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot. You know, running, like I said, one thing is seeing how much these athletes put in every day. You know, I did it myself, but I don't think, you know, you really understand until you take a step back and you really look and you really grasp what these kids are doing day in, day out, training, you know, to fight for these, you know, this state glory, whatever you want to call it. And just seeing that, it really just, it makes me want to highlight it and wants to bring their stories out and highlight these kids and showcase, you know, a sport that doesn't get the shine that a basketball might or a football. And people don't look at and see like these kids work just as hard, if not harder. You know, it's an everyday thing for them.
Cross country is just brutal, man.
Brutal. What from the conditions they run in, you know, you talk about football players playing in the snow. I've seen cross-country runners run in the snow before too, run in the rain.
So now too that you've also seen the backwoods, is cross-country a contact sport, Bakari?
Yes.
100%. 100%. With the elbows being thrown are real on the men's and women's side, okay?
I gotta say though, but for two younger guys who had no experience in the past with cross-country or probably with any sort of distance running training, I mean, just from talking to you guys now, you can clearly tell that you guys have a great passion for this.
Yeah.
And it's something that you guys take seriously, that you research, you go around, talk to all of the coaches. So it's, you know, it's good to see someone who maybe doesn't have that distance background to kind of just take their whole life and kind of immerse themselves in it and become very, very knowledgeable and
well known.
Yeah. Like
you guys are known
now, can go up to any coach and feel confident enough that
because they know you by name now, right? Oh, hey Bakari, hey Corey, right?
I will say at first it was like it was nervous. It was nerve-wracking.
Sure. Walking up to Coach Torchia, Coach Torchia, can I get an interview? It's like, get away from, who are you, kid? New Jersey media. Oh, all right, sure.
And on top of that, you know, like you said, like we're younger guys. You know, they might not look like, you know, I always think, oh, maybe they might not see me as somebody who's knowledgeable enough or whatever it might be. And like I said, I was a sprinter. I wasn't a distance guy. So I didn't know as much about the sport coming in. And it was something I really had to learn. But I think that's like one thing that I've loved so much about it is just learning the sport and really, really seeing the passion that these kids have for it. And seeing their passion has it has given me the passion to highlight that and show like, these kids are serious. These kids are for real. These kids they're putting their best foot forward day in, day out to you know, accomplish a goal. And, you know, why shouldn't we highlight that just as much as we highlight anything else?
So listen, in the state of New Jersey, the distance, like click. We're very passionate, and
is real.
It's like you need to earn your respect.
You guys are in now.
No, listen, like talking to other coaches saying, hey, we're having on Corey and Bakari. Everyone was like great guys. They're really immersed in themselves.
Carl and Bakari are both great reporters, super respectful, and they both have a very big future. Enjoy talking and listening to these great young guys. So it's high praise from one of the greatest coaches in the history of the state.
Great guys in the sport. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it.
He has more state titles than any other coach, I think.
So, Bakari, before I jump to Corey, this is your 4th year. So this is your freshman to senior class. How special, well, not just you in general, but these seniors that are here. How special is this group to you that you've watched them from freshmen and you've watched them kind of become phenoms and the seniors that have stood out? How special is that for you now? And especially now you're going to go through track as well. Does it mean a little more with this senior class? And now that they all know you, you've been interviewing the same kids for 4 years. Like, is it cool now that you're now going to see a graduating class and you're seeing them all go from little kids to grown men and grown women?
100%. I mean, like we were just talking about Brody Watt, and I watched Brody win a group title as a sophomore. He didn't have his best year last year, struggled with some sickness and injury later at groups. And then, watching him bounce back and have that PR this season. And I talked to him after the MFCs and, just off the record. And he was just so ecstatic. And he finally got that Bernard school record.
I'll say to break the school record at Bernard's is a hell of a school. Exactly. They are one of the
small school dynasty.
Lyle Smith will tell you the greatest team of all time. Lyle Smith will say it.
They're one of the proudest programs in state history. You have, to break a record by John Carlotti is just it's mind-boggling. Like, he's one of the absolute.
David runs a great program there. The boys program, he runs does a really great job with that program.
Great program. And he's just one example of the many kids that I've talked to. I've literally, like you said, seen grow from freshmen. And I think the biggest thing that I take from it is looking at the times and just looking at the drastic increases of how much better these kids have gotten. You don't, some of the, now you see a lot of kids, like you said, a lot of underclassmen coming in. We have a crazy amount of underclassmen talent, but this group of seniors is truly kids who worked. And you could even Luke Nat. I mean, he sat behind Joe, sat behind, Alex Mastroli, Ryan Schmidt, all these big names at CBA. And now he's leading the charge, and he's doing it. He finished second at indoor in 32, and now he's out there leading the way for CBA, winning, doing big things. It's impressive to see all these kids who have started. I've watched them. How can I put it? They've grown with me. Let me say it.
You were a baby when they were a baby. You were a baby just different ways. Different ways.
I feel like we've grown together. So
it's fine. In your case, these freshmen have really taught you the sport of distance running. Have taught you the sport of cross country between them 100%. And their coaches. This is the first group that you got to actually grow through and see them develop for 4 years. That's cool.
So, Corey, I'm going to shoot it back to you the same question. How many years have you been covering it? And kind of what has the sport taught you and all that type of stuff?
Yeah. So this is my second year doing cross country, but I did track actually, I think as soon as I graduated Montclair State University in 2022. So my first I think one of the first assignments at NJ.com was literally to cover a sectional meet, and I was scared out of my mind. I had no idea what I was doing. It was such a crazy.
Neither do we. Still, we've been 166 episodes deep.
You guys are
just wing it.
One of the most knowledgeable guys I know in the
just wing it. I wouldn't go that far, but we're just wing it.
Yeah, you guys are very knowledgeable about the sport, and again, but yeah, literally, it's been so crazy just to kind of see not only the growth of obviously myself being able to kind of grow and learn the sport, and then having the chance to join Bakari in the cross country beat, and I'm appreciative of NJ.com for giving me the opportunity to do that this past fall and being able to cover the girls. But doing track, I literally have done track since 2022, since I graduated college. So I got to see runners like Malachi James kind of grow. I got to see some all-time
James
runners like Joe Barrett grow.
It was funny. I was I was on the call from Malachi James, 100-meter state
record.
I was in the booth with Phil Grove calling that race.
To this day, I still keep up with his dad.
It's awesome.
Family's great, phenomenal family. And Malachi, he's at Syracuse now. I think he's going to be. I think he'll make a push to hopefully make it the NCAA's.
He'll be Clay's teammate.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. You will have.
But also Malachi James is probably also looking to do NFL, right? Isn't he? He's on that football team. He's doing some good things over there for the Orange.
He's starting kick returner for Syracuse.
Yeah,
he's also on the in the mix for the. He was getting touches for Syracuse
running back.
Running back. So he's up there. But just even seeing guys like that, seeing guys like Joe Barrett, kind of grow. I've talked to him when he was a sophomore, doing big things, with CBA, and just seeing a lot of these kids grow and get better and improve. It's just been so rewarding. Being able to kind of tell their stories too. And I think something that I pride myself on is telling the stories like that go beyond just the times, and
that's what we like doing here.
The wins, seeing like for example Malachi James, like he was injured all of his junior year. He didn't run all of his junior year. He pretty much missed it because of injury.
Transferring back and forth.
Yeah, I wrote a whole huge enterprise story on Malachi's comeback. And just kind of seeing him grow was super awesome. I've told stories of runners who came back from season-ending injuries and came back and won group state titles, track and cross country. And, it's seeing that, seeing them talk about the emotional aspect of of that journey, of their journeys, their adversities. That for me is what makes, this job.
So quickly on that note, this isn't nothing to do necessarily with you gentlemen, but I got a bone to pick with NJ.com. Can you stop paywalling all of these great stories? What are we doing? It's just like New Jersey to sit there and go, we got great stories to tell, but you got to pay for it. No one wants to pay for runners.
It is out of my hands. If it were up to me, I would love to.
I'm not putting you guys on the spot.
I'm not putting you guys, but advanced media, what are you guys doing?
No, I understand it. I understand it. Listen, I wish we can get more stuff available to you guys. And I think that's also why I'm trying to work so hard and me, Bakari, trying to work so hard to be better. Because again, if you guys are going to pay $5 a month to read our stuff, we got to make
it should be worth.
We got to make sure we're delivering high quality stuff.
Here's the thing too, and I know they're going to say it's just $5, but honestly, who wants to read more than sports about New Jersey? Right? Like honestly, all people are only going to NJ.com are for football, basketball, wrestling, track. That's about it. Like no one else is going to NewJersey.com to find out what New Yorker made issues on the turnpike again. And I'm in New York, okay? I don't care about what New Yorker caused an accident for doing 70 in the left lane, okay? Stop it. Because they're supposed to be doing 85-90. But
I got one more question for you guys, and I know the answer. Since you guys have been new, how helpful and how open and inviting have the coaches been to you guys? Because I know coaches, we get set, Jim was there for 40 years, and then you had Ed Grant and Ruben Frank, like we were saying earlier, all these guys, did you have to warm up to them? Did you have to feel
guys like Dave?
Yeah. Did you feel like you had to earn your respect, or was it right off the bat?
I will say, Jim Lambert was immediately just helped me out. I told him, I remember, I think my first conversation with him was telling him, hey, I'm a new guy doing this and all that stuff. And, he has given me so many tips on especially with cross country too. Hey, maybe you should, if you want to learn more about these courses, get there a couple hours early and walk these courses or run these courses and all that stuff. Hey,
you guys probably got good at least running 2 miles each, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Going with all the coaches to the points, you learn the points on each course.
Yeah, Jim has given me such great advice, and all that stuff, and he's been so helpful for me for my career. I owe him a lot. Paul Schwartz, same thing. He'll text
Paul Schwartz covered me when I was in high school, so that's surreal.
Hey Paul, just so you know, we're coming for you, Paul. You've eluded us so far. You can't elude us for that long, Paul. You're coming on the show.
Yeah, those guys really paved the way for me, and even the coaches too. There's so many coaches that really helped me out. So early on. I'm going to shout out Tim Cook from Ocean City. was like one of the first like coaches I spoke to. Coach Turk from Demarest.
Oh yeah,
like those guys. Like I was I just graduated college, 22-year-old, and I'm interviewing these coaches, and I don't even know too much about the sport, but I'm trying my best. And they were just giving me so much encouragement and advice and all that stuff, and letting me know about like little tips on like these runners to watch, these teams to watch.
That's awesome.
And that made my life so much easier. I guess having coaches like that, to really help me out and really, just kind of show me like kind of how to like go about covering the sport and how to go about talking to these athletes and just all that stuff, and just being kind of a resource for me too as well.
100%. I would say the same thing. I mean, I was the same way, a little nervous. I was like, oh, are these coaches going to really respect me, coming into this? Are they really going to look at me as like, oh, he knows what he's talking about? And I never really had to deal with any of that. Even if I didn't know something, if I asked a question, I had coaches that, were receptive, and they were saying like, yeah, they help me out, tell me what I need to know.
That's awesome.
And it's always been, a good relationship with most coaches. And like Corey said, Coach Turk, I had a great relationship with him, especially the CBA guys. I've done so many CBA stories. It feels like
and McCaffrey, Carl, Coach Looney,
Coach Looney, they've all been just great resources, and they've taught me a lot about it.
Got Mama Stevens coming in. Both guys are such great
Thanks,
reporters. Thanks
Mrs.
for
Stevens,
all that you do
what I say,
for our sport.
She is phenomenal. What she does for Manalapan.
Listen, she is. I mean, I don't
Thank
coach
you for
there.
watching, Mama Stevens.
I like know everyone there, and like I mean, not gonna lie, Miss Stevens, I probably had about 7 or 8 of your homemade cookies this weekend. Thank you. They were absolutely stealing. I didn't care if any kid had them. I'm like, these are good. I'm just like,
Mrs. Stevens does so much for Manalapan. She's such a great ambassador for them.
What I will say as a coach, like you can tell when someone's is BSing you, and you guys have no BS. You are honest, and you will admit, like early on, like maybe I didn't know. And coaches, all we want is for our kids to be represented in a way that is fair, that is equitable, and that makes them look good. And that only happens from people who understand the sport. Like if you were just covering the sport for one day, you'd have no idea how fast like 1540 was, or like just the fact
what's fast for a guy versus a girl, right? Like, like, okay, a guy running sub 5 is great. 445 is a good number or whatever. But for a girl, what is the equivalent, right? And you got to learn both of those. So for you gentlemen, though, how important was it to kind of have each other, right? Like you guys are both young guys. Neither of you have distance experience before coming in here. How much is it important to have you guys to lean on and things like that? Both of you guys being outside of the distance community. And also, how much has it been able to be good for your reporting to maybe not be one of us, to maybe not be a distance runner, to, like Bakari, like you said, like kind of throw that shade and that doubt where we're all too damn nice in the distance community. We need some like a little bit of non-nice, a little bit of more like a normal athlete edge. And I think don't conform to us, gentlemen. Keep that edge. Don't conform, because I think we need a little bit of that edge. But so first and foremost, how important was it for you gentlemen to kind of, you're both young, you're both not distance runners. So how important was it to you guys to use each other?
I'll say, because I started off like at first NJ.com. It was because I graduated in 2021. So I'm pretty sure I graduated the year before you, Corey.
I
want to say. So I started off doing this essentially by myself, and it was tough at first. I was learning a completely new sport basically by myself. And when they put Corey on the beat with me, I mean, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was like he didn't, I was helping him, but at the same time, he didn't know how much he was helping me out with everything.
Bakari he might have stopped, but Bakari helped me out, especially that first year track. Oh my God, so much.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, Bakari and Ryan Patty also.
Ryan Patty too. Shout out Ryan. Got a shout out.
As they're both standing on the course going, look at these dangly, non-athletic dudes running up. How are they so fast?
Like, why are they just running over hills over and over again? I don't understand. Like, and why not 3 miles? Why is it 3.1 miles? It
like stuff like that. Like,
why the extra 0.1?
Like, even like dude, my first year, I was asking Bakari like questions like, what's like a 5-runner spread, or what's like a team average. It's stuff that I obviously know now, but
there's a learning curve, like everything else. There's a learning curve.
But you guys put in the work, and it shows because, like I said, every coach who I talk to says they're great young guys. They are knowledgeable, and they're learning more and more every day. And that's all that you can ask. And you guys cover everyone fairly. Like, you don't have favorites. Like, you try to cover it as fair as you can. And I mean, everything that I've heard is that you guys have been doing a tremendous job. So kudos to both of you. And you could tell that the passion, like, you wouldn't come on this show if you didn't care. Like, you'd be like, no.
I literally started watching Talking Ovals a couple of years ago, literally because I wanted to learn more. Because you guys are doing a lot of the
we appreciate that, man.
Yeah, athletes and coaches in the state, and I was like, okay, I need to watch this podcast.
All right, just don't
keep gassing
us up.
Info. No, keep gassing us up. Let's go. Keep gassing us up. No, but gentlemen, we appreciate what you guys do more than you know. Because anytime that we have people that are trying to bring light to our sport, it's the same mission that we have here. Trying to bring more daylight to the sport, trying to tell the stories of the athletes, similar to what you were saying, Corey. We like to, if we get a chance, I would love to get a chance to talk to Knott, right? Because I want to find out what his story was before being a champion and the work he had to do before that. Like, we had the great privilege of talking to the great Johnny Gray and talking to Dave Waddle and just hearing them and their stories before getting those gold medals, before being, just all the great athletes that we've talked to, the great coaches. But the best part is not necessarily hearing about those successes. What was the grind before that? Julie Cully, and how many times she was in offices crying to coaches to become the 5K national champion in 2012. So it's like, there's just so much, and we appreciate what you guys do more than you know. So honestly, keep asking questions, keep up. We will absolutely be a resource. You'll see Dave. I can't do that left. I'm mirror. You'll see Dave
you're in the right direction. There
you'll see Dave over at track meets. But gentlemen, we appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you
so much.
This was so much fun, guys.
This was amazing.
I could have been on here for another a couple more hours, honestly. If you didn't
lock it up now, literally back on many times.
We will have you guys on. So here's the only thing, though. I thought about this, and while inviting Jim with you guys will be great, Bakari, I don't know if I could have a Finns fan and a Patriots fan on the show because I'm a Jets fan. So I don't know if I could do that.
We're both.
I'm a Bills fan, so that's going to be a lot.
I don't know, Corey. What's your football team?
He's a Bills fan.
Oh, no. It ain't happening. It ain't doing it. I am not letting you three gang up on me.
I'm chirping Jim Lambert about the Dolphins.
I can't do it. No, we're never having that show. We aren't doing it. No.
How about us arguing about the
AFC East?
There is no argument. I'm not in it. I got Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor starting this week. Like,
we're just now back in it. Let's just say that.
Gabe, what are you a fan of?
I'm a Giants fan.
Hey, man, Jackson got hurt, man.
They got a quarterback and a running back and a receiver. They're doing a lot better than we are, man.
Yeah, hey, man, fingers crossed. Stay healthy. That's all you have to do.
That's it, man.
How do you like a Canadian team, Corey? That's all I gotta know.
Okay. Let me tell you, there are Buffalo Bills fans everywhere, man.
There are.
I was in Utah
because Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed they're the greatest team that nobody knows about. Like those 4 years, people forget that Jim Kelly's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play.
Yeah. Them oh my God. Or the Broncos in the 80s.
But Elway at least got the championship. Jim Kelly is always going to be.
You got it.
He'll be forgotten. He will be forgotten, and it's crazy. 4 championships. And here's the thing. I'm sorry. You guys are going to be the AFC championship version with Josh Allen. Because I don't see you guys ever getting over that hump.
Josh Allen is already considered better than Jim Kelly. And Jim Kelly went to Super Bowl 4 straight years.
But Jim Kelly also, they ran the football back in the day. They didn't talk about it.
Listen, my favorite NFL player of all time is Scott Norwood because he went wide right against the Giants in the 90s.
Outside of that, I'll end it off with this. Doug Flutie is the greatest Bills quarterback of all time. And that's where we're going to go with that.
You know what?
No other quarterback had their own cereal.
Flutie
Flakes were good.
But I think Patrick for sure. But
no, listen. Fitz Fitz is great at having a great year and then taking your money and being terrible the rest of the way. He's a Harvard guy. He thinks, man. All right. Anyway, so before we close out here, I want to give you guys a shout out real quick to what you guys are doing over on social media. Corey's over here. He covers a whole lot of things, does these interviews. Go follow him on Instagram. At Corey Annan. I over here. You gotta click that follow button right there. See, you gotta use the strategy here. This is promotional stuff.
Yeah.
And you can scroll down and you see he has it all ranked in there. The Mox XC right there. And all the stuff that he's doing for NewJersey.com and these videos. So absolutely go check it out. There's Leah. There is, let's see, we're gonna get some noise here. Boom, there is that final stretch.
Show it.
We're showing it. Is it here?
No, it's covered.
Yeah. Covered by? You can scroll down a little bit.
What's going on here? What are they covered by? Hold on. What are we seeing here?
Just
it's there. It's hard to see.
It's behind his post, yeah.
I don't know how to make it bigger. We're gonna watch it. You're gonna see them coming to view. Don't worry.
Yeah.
There they are. They're
left, yeah.
They're specs, and here they come. And just honestly,
here. Well, my favorite part was like Paige passed her and Paige kind of like goes left, and then Leah
crossed her. Yeah.
I also have to say though, Paige's form is fantastic up until the end. Leah's just a bat out of hell. Paige's form was beautiful that whole time until the end.
She just lost steam there. But I think again, I think at NXR, like we're gonna see the Paige Shepard with a chip on her shoulder, and that's not absolutely. I'm not sure that's gonna happen. You know,
absolutely. So you have this, but also not to be outdone, Bakari, we need you to come back because I need everyone to go follow the snapshot with Kari over here. Because he's saying there, I love the Ultra Instinct Goku over there. Thank you, Bakari, for being a fan of that. But this is generally more sports coverage, correct? And you're going to bring this back because we're going to force you to bring it back now.
I am indeed bringing it back. This kind of gave me the push to say, just go and do it. So
here we go. And they're going to do this. Boom. Ready? See that marketing? Boom. Subscribe there, baby. So that's what everyone needs to go do. Needs to go do that. And, again, if anyone took anything out of this show, these are two really good young gentlemen. They are passionate for the sport, great reporters. As much as I would love for them to stay as, New Jersey high school cross-country track and field reporters, I think they have a bright future in sports journalism in general. So one day, Dave, we'll be able to say we have those two incredible ESPN reporters and personalities on they were on our show at some point.
Day. No, we will be on their podcast.
Hell no, they're going to forget about us by then. They're going to be like, we ain't talking to those dudes. They're going to bring us down.
Talking in what?
Never.
You guys have inspired me to create a podcast. I think I might start working on it.
Let's do it.
Hey, listen, we will gladly come on any podcast.
You guys would be one of my first guests. If not my first guest.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Absolutely. For sure.
All right, everyone. We appreciate everyone for watching. Go and check us out on the socials at Talking in Ovals, wherever you're watching from. We appreciate it. Make sure you do that like, share, follow, subscribe thing. And then if you're listening to this later, once again, I've been terrible with the audio side. I promise one day I'll get it up. Make sure you go follow, leave comments, all that good stuff. And we will be back next week. Everyone, thank you so much. So long, y'all.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.